Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I warmly welcome you to the Caribbean and to my yardstead here in Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Abby. This morning we are focusing on harvesting our first bulk from the garden, and we're going to be having meal prep or meal planning with these same vegetables that we are going to be harvesting from the garden, coupled with the chickens that we raised and processed back in November. We're going to do a bit of meal planning with these vegetables. And why I'm pushing myself to do this is because I really want to be able to pull away from the grocery store a little more, using exactly what I get from the garden in my meal planning to see how it can help with the grocery bill, the consumption. So this morning I'm going to be taking you guys on a little short tour, as well as I pick up these couple of vegetables in the garden. And basically I wanted to highlight why I'm doing it too, is because as a homeschooling mom, when I do meal planning, it helps me provide the meals for the children on time. Because when I'm focused on teaching them, educating them, sometimes mealtime comes on me so suddenly, and I'm now scrambling to cook something for them, and things get a little chaotic at that time. So I find that when I cook in advance, that things run a lot smoother, especially when it comes to homeschooling. So on a Monday, I tend to cook all the way down for a Saturday, putting things in place for that, so that it makes it a lot easier for me and for the children. So with that said, let's get into it, guys. Let's see what's happening in the garden. Before we do that, I brought up my harvest basket, and it is filled with the ginger that we harvested together. And I brought it out because I need to get to it, because they're starting to shrivel, to dehydrate, and even though it makes the ginger stronger, I really want to get this put up today. Sometime today. I don't know how I'm doing it, but I brought it out so that after we spend some time in the garden, I could start peeling all this ginger and start processing it in the way that we use ginger a lot in the garden. Now guys, this is the problem of doing bulk harvesting. If you don't get to it right away, sometimes time goes by and you don't get to put up your produce in their optimum. Well, fortunately for me, ginger takes a while to get to this point, and I have signs that saying, listen, I need to get to it ASAP. So I'm gonna put this in this little colander here, and I'm gonna leave this outside. I have my little butter knife. Oh my gosh, my little butter knife. We've been using this so much, we use a lot. I have a couple of dehydrated pieces in here. I actually don't throw away these. I keep these because this is like dehydrated ginger. If you grate this and you seep it, comes back like good. Like I said, guys, you probably know by now that I'm a big fan of drying. Drying really gives you a different umami when you cook things. It gives you a different flavor profile, but still so good. So I'm gonna rest this somewhere where those little sticky fingers can't reach, and play with it and throw it everywhere. Right here. Now my harvest basket is empty. Now we can go in the garden. I took a moment to decide which corner should we start from, but I'm not too sure. But just giving you an overview of how the garden is looking in this beautiful morning sunlight. It's about 8 o'clock right now, and I really want to get harvest out. I want to get harvest out the pak choys, the leafy greens that I have in mind. So this pak choy I want to get picked out because inside here is kind of, see how it's bending and curling, and look, that's a thrip in there. Can you see it? That little tiny thing. There's some thrips in there. So the thrips are right now feeding on the center, the young leaves of this pak choi. And so I'm going to rip out this whole plant as well as those two, and we're going to get new seedlings for these pak choys. Well, what I mean is we'll get new seedlings to replace these pak choys. So let's harvest out this bad boy in here. And without a doubt, this this pepper plant that's left in here will be glad for a bit of room. I really thought that the pepper plant would have performed along with the pak choi. So this is a decent sized pak choi, guys. Really nice. I'm gonna give the chickens a couple of these. Look at the size of these stems, and we do love pak choi salad. We like to just chop the pak choi along with some cranberries and an onion vinaigrette that we get from Price Smart, and it is absolutely delicious. Very, very delicious. Even the children eat it. So I'm gonna rip this out when I'm cleaning it up upstairs and bring it back down for the chickens. But this is a decent size. This is a decent size pak choi, and we didn't use any synthetic fertilizers. We just use the, what is that? We just use the blood meal that we created using the chicken blood. We just used that in the garden, and guys, the garden has been going really, really, really well. Right now I have a bunch of banana skin to make a bulk batch of banana peel tea, and I'm going to be using that because now the tomatoes have begun blooming. I'll show you that up close. But now that they've begun blooming and the peppers are blooming even more, I want to hold back on the nitrogen in the blood meal. In fact, I'm actually almost out, and I need to make a next form of compost tea. So I've decided to use some of the decomposted chicken bedding in the keg with water and leave that for a couple weeks until I can begin feeding the plants again. So, well, or a week or two. I don't think I need to leave it too long, but I just need to continue with the regime, with the routine of feeding them every weekend, so that they continue to do really good. This one is beginning to bolt. If you believe me, I don't know where I put my shears. So this one is beginning to bolt a little, but it's just beginning, so it should still be alright. Should be alright. So I rip off all these leaves that are torn up, and I'll give them to the chickens this morning. Yeah, so that's also a nice decent size head. And this is not the first time that I'm harvesting from this. I actually harvested the outer leaves, as you can see. We had 2 harvests of this, and now I'm pulling out the whole thing. You don't have to harvest pak choi the whole head one time. You can cut and come again with it until it starts to bolt. Beautiful soil in there. I brought you a snack. I brought you snacks. There you go. Yeah, so the sun is coming out. So let's get the next leafy green harvested so we could get them in the cool. I don't want them to wilt. And the next leafy green that I have in mind harvesting is the Baji or the amaranth. And after I harvest this, we're just going to have a short chat on what I'm going to be using these two leafy greens to be making this week. Alright, so we're going to leave these leafy greens inside here because I don't want them to wilt too badly before I get to them later on this afternoon. I really need to hurry with this harvest because I need to get school started. So this is the amount of amaranth that we have. It looks like a lot, but it's going to wilt down to nothing. So I plan to use this to make Baji rice, where we stir fry the greens a little with onion, garlic, and a little bit of pepper, and then we add coconut milk and boil the rice in that. So the specks of green is all between the rice, and it's quite tasty, especially if you put like a whole pepper. Some people call it scotch bonnet. You just put the whole pepper in the scotch bonnet in the coconut milk with the rice. Is absolutely delicious. And we would tend to eat that rice with stewed chicken or curry chicken or baked chicken. It is really up to what you're feeling for. But this week I'm going to be doing Baji rice, stewed chicken, and a coleslaw. Yeah, so that will be lunch for one day. And with the pak choys, some of it I'm going to be using for salad, but the majority of it we'll be using for something we call, what do you call it, guys? Saltfish. Oh my god, why is it slipping me now? But it's a dish made with saltfish, where we prepare the saltfish, season the saltfish, and we put tomatoes and bulgur. That's it. I don't know why the name slipped me, but we're going to be doing bulgur and dumplings, and depending on how much yield I get, I will be keeping some for sandwiches, you know, like roast bake and bulgur for breakfast one of the days. So this majority is going to the bulgur, and some of it we're going to keep for salad, probably today or tomorrow. I'm not too sure, but some of it will be for that. And yeah, so those things keep really good in the fridge. So my family loves that bulgur and corn dumplings, and that will be lunch another day. So let's get back outside, and we're going to harvest the rest of what's out there, and we will try to think about how we're going to use it in the garden. In the freezer here is a chicken. So before I head up, I would take out 2 chickens so that I would save me work for next week. I would defrost 2 chickens and season that up and cook for just this week, and have it in the fridge for when we need to do meals. So the garden is doing pretty good. I relocated this pepper over here along with some marigold, the rosemary, the mulberry tree. All the flowers actually dried up, and I spoke too soon. There's not one berry left on this tree. I don't know, I moved it a little. I don't know if it didn't like that, but we will see, because when I was shifting the lemon tree, I did shift this a little, so I don't know if it didn't like the disturbance of moving it. Anyway, we'll see how it goes from there. And plus too, guys, it was really hot. We had Sahara dust along with some scorching sun rays. Despite the wind being cool, just being in the sun was quite brutal. So that could have contributed to all the flowers drying right up. Over here, as you all well know, I am battling the thrips. I keep battling them. This morning I'm going to give the plant a spray, give them a little bit of reprieve of those bugs. The beans are coming along well as well. Oh, I had a caterpillar come in here and eat up inside there, guys. I need to get these cabbages protected. Those cabbage came and it ate out the inside of here. So what I'm thinking, I'm going to harvest this out. I'm going to harvest it out now, and we're going to use this in some spring rolls. I have some spring roll wrappings, and we have some sweet Thai chili sauce. So I am going to use this. I'm going to take this and chop it up, and we're going to use this in a spring roll for snack time. That would have made a beautiful, beautiful head of cabbage. This is by far the best cabbage I've ever grown. I'll give the chickens this one, and we're gonna chop up these. We're gonna stir it up. Probably might make fried rice too if I don't get to do the spring rolls, but that's on my mind right now, spring rolls or egg rolls. And we're gonna use this up because it's pretty chewed up inside here. Pretty chewed up, like really chewed up. But we will see. Let me put this inside before it wilts too. So this is the trough here by the step. This trough, only this corner gets full sun. And what I have in here is cauliflower and sweet potato and ginger in the back there. Everything is doing so well. Last night when I was watering, I noticed that one of them has begun to flower. So that's a cauliflower load in there. I've struggled with broccoli, and we're really into the brassicas. So I've decided, since I'm getting cauliflower to blossom, to bloom and give me cauliflowers, I'm just going to focus on growing the cauliflowers. And in fact, cauliflower is actually more expensive in the grocery than broccoli. So the cauliflower is growing for me, and so I'm going to focus on growing what's growing the cauliflower, and hopefully that one grows into a beautiful head. I actually have another cauliflower that's blooming right now. Let me show that to you right away. So before we head there, these are all the plants starting to wilt in the morning sun. So I have the okra, guys. These are planted in the native soil, and everything is starting to wilt in the morning sun. Have some peppers, some pak choys, peppers, the sweet potato. This trough on a whole, the foliage has been more on the, you know, like a slight yellow. Even this eggplant is yellow. I try amending it, giving it feed, and it's still the same, or I don't know what's happening. I'm just hoping that I'm getting sweet potato from this trough, and I'm gonna have to move out. I'm not gonna give up on it. I'm gonna try and see if I could get a next feed bag and probably plant it in there because it's food. I'm gonna try to rehome this eggplant tree. So this is the cauliflower. It's another I actually clip. I can barely see what I'm doing in the sun, guys. I clip the cauliflower close so that it doesn't get a weird color, and it's this cauliflower is loaded. It looks so beautiful. It's very liberating to see that. I just harvested out this amaranth or baji. This is a Suriname cherry. I need to relocate that to more sun, and again, more seasoning flowers. We have to harvest out these guys. These need to go. These cucumbers. These are some decent sized cucumber. Again, this is called the Trini-Cuke. Decent sized cucumbers. These will last a while in the fridge. So we got, so far that's 3 of them. Alright, so we're here, but these cucumbers are a lot smaller. But why I want to harvest out these cucumbers is because so many are on this plant, so many, and I want it to continue producing, so I want it to focus on producing more cucumbers. So I'm going to take them smaller, and I'm going to start canning as well. I'm going to start doing our pickled cucumbers, because we like to do sandwiches, you know, like chicken breast sandwiches, and you could put your pickled cucumbers on them, and we like that. So there are a lot of cucumbers growing on here, and I need to take out these guys so that the nutrients can continue growing, going up to these plants. I'm noticing that I'm seeing a bit of wilting here, so I'm going to come through on this vine itself and see if there's something that bore into the vine somewhere here that's attacking the plant, because I'm not seeing why this vine would start wilting like that. Oh, I am right now in the alleyway. Oh look, the barbadine is ripening, so we have a barbadine to pick, guys. I'll take these nice and clean today. Y'all not being naughty. You protecting them? These things are so spiky. I don't need any more shot up any seeds right now. I do need leaves though. Now that we're finished, finally, let's go inside and we're going to do a whole overview of everything that I collected this morning, and we could assess together how much savings we would have done this week in the grocery store. I headed back outside to get these 3 eggplants. I picked these because just like the cucumber, there were lots and lots on the tree, so I just want the plant to also focus on maturing well some of the fruits, so I just took some off, and they taste good. They taste really good in a dish. So let's do an overview of all the things that we got from the garden this morning, and isn't this a beautiful haul? This is I spent $38. I mean, of course, we didn't buy this, and we didn't buy the lemongrass, but we bought the parsley. Look at this healthy bunch of parsley. I put it in a baggie with some water so that it doesn't wilt. Don't want it to wilt at all. So we got a nice bundle of parsley. I probably would have paid $15 for this amount of parsley in the grocery store. And as I said, guys, it's really hard to, but it's important to harvest out your goods and find ways to preserve them that you could put them into your dish. So what I'm going to do with this is blend this with some olive oil and freeze it and this would add flavor to the meals that I want to add. Like if it's rice, because it's olive oil, it wouldn't matter, and the olive oil will lock in those flavors. Really, really fresh. So and if I want to use it in a vinaigrette, again, it's going to work really, really well. So that's how I'm going to preserve this. Dried parsley tastes like cardboard to me, so I'm not going to dry this. I'm just going to blend this in the olive oil separately, and I would add it to my dish as I see fit. So the parsley, this is the first time I'm growing garlic chives. I've never seen this in the grocery store, but by the amount that I've gotten, I had it in the fridge because I don't want it to go wilty on me, and I saw one leaf. I'm gonna put it back in the bag. I would say that this probably will cost me again $15 to $20, so we are at the $40 mark as regards savings. The same thing with this. This is probably $20 to $30 worth of celery, because I think 3 stalks are about $5 now, and those are quite a bit. So I'm gonna leave that at a mark of $25 worth in celery. So we are at the $65 mark. This immature cabbage, I'm not gonna put a price mark on this, but this I'm gonna put a price mark on the spring rolls. And it's gonna be homemade, and a spring roll, one single one, is $8 here, and I'm pretty sure I probably will get about 10 spring rolls when I chop this up with some carrots and some other herbs, the garlic chives, etc. So I don't know how to put a price tag on this, but it's a price tag. Let's give it a small one, $5. So we're at the $70 mark. Again, another $5, $75. I'll put in small price tags on these, $5. So that's $80 there, guys. One pak choy, I just said, is about $8, $9, and we have 2 healthy looking ones here. So we're gonna leave that at the $18 mark. What is that? Well, where were we? 85, 80. Anyway, let's say $99 mark. If you were to buy a box of dried lemongrass in the store, it's going to be between $30 and $40 per box, and this is going to be months worth of dried lemongrass. So we're going to leave this at a $40 mark. So we're at 129 $129. One single barbadine is about $30, so we are at the $159 mark. Dropping everything. Again, a box of mint tea, dried mint, is about $30, so we're going to put this at the $30 mark. So that's what, $189. And cucumbers right now are ridiculously expensive. I think 1 pound is about $32, and I don't know how many pounds these are. I'm gonna wait later on and put it on the screen, but these I would guesstimate is about $65 worth of cucumbers, and these will keep really good in the fridge. And I think this is a pretty good haul. I think it's, oh, we're forgetting the bhaji. I lost track. What number was I at? 159, so $60 and 159 is $219, and a $10 for the bhaji is $229 worth of goods right there in the garden, and that is just some of it. And I'm going to spend probably $10 to get some seedlings to replace the cabbage, the pak choy. What else do I need to replace? Not much more, just a bit more greens. I'm just going to get me some more seedlings. I probably won't spend that much. I probably might spend $6 if so much. But that's just to give you an idea of what you can get from a little container garden in your front yard, backyard, side yard, whatever, wherever, balcony, each week. So I want to encourage you guys, get up, start with 1 container at a time. It makes a huge difference. And if you're strategic with your harvest, like how I am going to be with this week, I'm going to be making dishes with all of these today for the week, so that we get full value from the produce coming out of the garden. I probably will do shorts showing you the dishes that I'll be making from these throughout the week, and just to give you some, to boost your morale, to boost something in you to get up and get going wherever you are in the world. Guys, thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your company. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a big produce thumbs up and or savings thumbs up, because things are getting really chaotic, not just here in Trinidad but all over the world. Things are getting pretty chaotic, and so just a little bit of effort can go a long way. All right, so thanks once again, guys. Thank you for all the new subscribers to the channel. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please share it with your friends and family. They probably would enjoy it as well. So until we see each other, I'll see you in the next one. By the way, I'm in the guest quarters with my friends who live in the south, north, far away, that probably need to be centralized. They come and they stay with me. All right, guys, bye.